So Adrian Rabiot has dropped his demands, making a possible move to the Premier League more likely. Well, the word from inside Manchester United is don't do it. You don't need to sign Rabiot right now. Manchester United already have a Rabiot in the making within their ranks. Are Arsenal about to do Manchester United a favour by taking Rabiot off the table? A bit of a tug of war, it would seem, according to reports, but we're going to break down what we actually need as well and what we think within the live chat this morning. This is your morning update on Forever United TV. I'm Adam. It is weekend, everybody. We are officially calling it weekend here on Forever United TV. As soon as it gets to Friday, United are the first game up tomorrow. That is it. All looking ahead to that game at Southampton tomorrow. Who is going to be playing? What players need to actually turn up and actually make their mark in that game? First of all, we need to cover everything that's going on with Manchester United within the news that was breaking last night and early this morning, and I have got you completely covered. Make sure you give this video a like, everybody, to kickstart our weekend. The more likes we get, the more chance United are going to beat Southampton tomorrow. And of course, make sure that you've subscribed as well, hitting that bell notification to make sure you miss out on nothing related to Manchester United, your beloved club. And I know you're all getting excited because football is back tomorrow and we are ready to go. We are going to beat Southampton by hook or by crook. It won't be pretty. But Manchester United are coming back with the 3 points. Oh, for God's sake, please. Anyway, Adrian Rabiot, what is happening now? There's a name that we've not mentioned much over the summer. For God's sake, someone just take him away. Gee, how many videos have we done on Adrian Rabiot? I'll just have to do the update and everything, but everything that's gone on with him this summer has just been out of pure, let's say pure opportunism in terms of actually trying to play the system, I would say, Adrian Rabiot, in terms of just waiting it out. I'm not going for you. I'm not accepting that deal. I'm not accepting that deal. Something might happen, and it has played right into his hands with injuries after international break and teams panicking into the first 2 weeks of the season, it would seem, about players that they need within their squad. And now Adrian Rabiot is set in a comfortable position. We're going to bring you all the news and everything that's happening with that. First of all, we just had 2 donated memberships in the chat. One from Huggles, which has gone to Sanjay, and one from the man himself, Tom Porter, which has gone to James Bush. Welcome along to the Members Club, guys. And obviously, please make sure you thank both Huggles and Tom in the chat for that one. But yes, Adrian Rabiot, where have the reports come from? Again, surfacing last night from Santiano, which was basically Manchester United have held discussions with Adrian Rabiot in recent days. United have a better relationship with the player's agent because the salary demands have decreased. We all know who his agent is. We all know what Rabiot is about. It's about mother and son, and she will drive a hard bargain. She's already sent John Murtough packing once already. She's already lost him his job because he's that. No, she's not. But obviously, Murtough is no longer. United have a new regime. We've talked this up all week, and Manchester United will not budge on certain prices for players, will not move on wage structure or anything like that. And Rabiot's going to have to wait it out. There are no other offers on the table. Unless this guy wants to just go to Saudi and take big money, or he wants to stay in European football, earning decent money, fair money, then it's the Premier League. Italy have got nothing for him. He's done there. You're not going to get him going to Spain, I don't think. I don't think they can afford him. He wants big money in his last contract of his career, probably, you could say. Well, of any significance anyway. So Manchester United, according to Santiano, are still in relations with his mother, still talking, and everything is amicable. Everything is good. Apparently, the wages have come down. What does that change? Anything? Well, in Manchester United, stands like, do we actually need Rabiot right now? Obviously, another player in a number 8 position is definitely helpful. But like we said there at the top of the show, Manchester United have players coming through the academy. You've got the likes of Amas. I know he's not a midfielder, training with the first team yesterday, but training alongside him, Darren Fletcher's son, Jack Fletcher, who is performing very well in the under-18s at the moment. 17. Now, this is a player that could also come right onto the scene and just hit the ground running. We don't know. Obviously, we don't know how these young players are going to adapt to the first team in Manchester United with the pressure that's going on right now. But all we're saying is, again, this could be another player coming in, Rabiot, on a big wage, very similar to what Christian Eriksen is right now, where we cannot fit him into the side. And it's a player, yes, who has qualities. He's a player, yes, that has masses of experience. Very similar. I think, why are we getting rid of Christian Eriksen to bring in another Eriksen, is what I'm saying. and that is Adrian Rabiot. Rabiot, I think right now, is better than Eriksen, but in terms of the actual deal and what I'm saying, you understand, like, it's another player that's going to be there on big wages, not wanting to go anywhere, expecting to start games ahead of another player that could come through and hit the ground running. Anything is possible right now with these young academy lads coming through for Manchester United, and we need to cling on to that as much as we possibly can. And you just look at Rabiot coming in and you think, yes, he will help Manchester United. He will. And then you're arguing with yourself. It's like one season again. Are we going to get the same sort of Casemiro effect where we're then stuck with the player? He doesn't want to take anything less than a 3-year contract. And 3 years, a Jack Fletcher or another academy player coming through could be 2021. Like, we've seen what Kobbie Mainoo can do. And obviously everybody's different and everyone doesn't sort of adapt exactly the same way. Some players actually come through at a different age and develop a bit later than other players. But 18 years old, Kobbie Mainoo, like, Jack's coming up to that age right now, and he plays that role. He plays in at 8. That's his natural position through all his time at Manchester City's academy, now into Manchester United's Premier League 2 season, and under-18's Premier League season last season, performing well and is very, very comfortable on the ball. You've also got Collier, who could move forward into that position as well. And I know what we said, like, after the Liverpool game, it didn't look like he was physically ready or anything like that. Well, do you know what? Kobbie Mainoo's not physically filled out properly yet and isn't fully ready. He's still learning as well. He was just thrown in at the deep end, Collier, and I think it was unfair that he had to deal with that situation that we described as one of the greatest midfielders over the last 10 years, Casemiro, being brought off because he had a stinker, 2-0 down, and then a young academy player being asked to go in and fill that void. Not ideal, not comfortable, and probably not fair, really, but needs must. We need another player in there because Casemiro was having a stinker. Look, there are better opportunities for these younger players coming through. And do you know what? We may even see some of these younger players on Tuesday night against Barnsley. And do you know what? We'd have signed Rabiot, and then we'll be like, where do we actually fit these young lads in? What is their pathway now? Because you're going to have Rabiot there, you're going to have Kobbie Mainoo there, and you're like, where else are we going to fit this player in? Obviously, we've brought in the likes of Kone, we've brought in Agate, all over the midfield then with Mount, Bruno Fernandes. And we were talking the other day about bringing in the likes of Gomez and him actually seeing a pathway into that first team and actually replacing the likes of Bruno Fernandes. I can fully see Manchester United's midfield being jam-packed with young academy players in that area. And I think we need to take it seriously in what we're actually doing now at Manchester United. It's right that we need players. It's right that we need squad depth. But we have got that at the moment, I feel. We do have enough there, just about. I know it's right on a knife edge and anything can happen, but can we constantly go into seasons worrying about injuries and just bringing in players for the sake of thinking something bad could happen? Look, I don't want to sign Rabiot at this time. My look on Adrian Rabiot has always been exactly the same. If Ineos thought he was part of the plan and Manchester United were going to take him, they would have taken him in the transfer window. Anybody who actually looks at Rabiot now, I feel, will be desperate. And that's where Arsenal have come into it. That's where Arsenal have actually started to pop up onto the scene. And you have to sort of say, look, Arsenal's circumstances is one of, obviously, Odegaard now being out for a sustained period of time. Maybe they need him a little bit more than what Manchester United do. I think it's more likely that you'll get a Rabiot going to Arsenal rather than going to Manchester United at this stage. I think that's the reality, and I think that's more of a reality, to be honest. But really, when you look at where Arsenal are at, can they add that extra bit of experience and quality to their side and it benefit them more? Yes, you can. Because they're primed and ready to challenge Manchester City for the title. Manchester United are not. I think this is a signing that you could see Arsenal easily making as a player that's going to sit there on the bench and just come in as and when. Manchester United are in a completely different development phase right now. We've spoken about this aplenty before. Like, we are nowhere near ready for challenging like where Arsenal are. So right now, it's a good time for young players to come through. But the problem you've got is Rabiot doesn't want any short-term contract. He's looking after his own He's looking after himself, and he wants more than the 3-year contract. So everyone who's saying that we could probably get him on a 2-year short-term deal, and United have only ever said that they would do this if it fitted them on a short-term contract. Look, it's not going to happen. Will we take Rabiot for a year? If he was happy to play for United for a year, then I would take him in a heartbeat. But we know that he's not going to go for that. Even 2 years might be a bit of a push. You could probably say, look, 2 years, fair enough. Well, some of the younger lads come through and develop, and he just gives us that little bit extra in squad depth. But again, I don't think Adrian Rabiot is going to take a 2-year deal. He wants more. He wants this to be his last contract, doesn't he? Like we said, like going into it, like 29, Adrian Rabiot, full-on international, very experienced footballer, good footballer as well. And he will help United if we did bring him in, but still, you have to look at the obvious, which is at this stage of his career, he doesn't want to just be taking little deals here and there. He wants a big one, he wants the right wages, and he wants this to see him out into the back end of his career. That's how you would see it. I mean, would you guys take Rabiot for 3 years? I wouldn't, personally. I really wouldn't. I'd do a 2-year max. That's it. If he's happy to take that at the right wages, then you could maybe make something happen. But I think he's in a position now where he actually holds the cards. Well, him and his mum do anyway. If Arsenal are in and Manchester United are both talking, like Santiona said, then you've got to look at it and go, well, he could probably play both off each other. But I don't think Arsenal are anywhere near what Manchester United would be for offering wage-wise. And it's up to him. What does he want? Does he want to actually take the bigger wage for 2 years? Does he want to try and negotiate a bit of a longer contract on a lesser wage? And then would it seem more that? Look, the only way I look at it is I think United can afford a package where they can afford his wages. I just don't want him to be coming into Manchester United and taking a place and used as let's just say a mate weight instead of bringing someone else in who we really need. That's what I don't want to happen. I feel like you could have some of the academy players coming through and actually making their mark instead of Rabiot in next year or a year on. Maybe just see a few this season, make appearances here and there. And next season, maybe a bit more. If Rabiot is there, you're not going to get that. But I understand the need for success and the need for instant sort of impact. And Rabiot does give you that. He gives you that. Go straight in, completely experienced, won't be fazed by anything, no matter who he plays. That is there. And I do see the positives in that. I do. I just look at it and go, I just feel like United, and the word from the academy and everything coming through with these younger players is that, really, is this what we want to do right now after this whole restructure of Manchester United? Should we just be standing by our guns and just saying, look, let's not jump at the first opportunity? As you know what will happen. If the result goes wrong tomorrow, there'll be this whole massive clamour for Manchester United to do something in the transfer window to help Ten Hag. We need more squad depth. We haven't got that. We haven't got that strength. We haven't got that experience in midfield. We need more. We need more physicality and all of that. And you know there's always a clamour and a panic for making something happen after a bad result. Let's just win the game tomorrow and let's just move forward without needing to sign Adrian Rabiot. But you know what's coming. You know it is. And it's like whenever there's a player available, everybody obviously assumes that Manchester United will be in for him. I just hope Ineos stand the ground and just stick to the original plan. I just feel like they need to do that at this stage now. And I think it's important for the club as well. And I think it's important for the development of the younger players coming through. Like, we are putting trust in this young academy right now. And you are the ones that are going to be coming through and filling these gaps when we need them throughout the season. Instead of us going out and buying big players, or so-called big players on big money, we're actually trusting in the academy players coming through, which is why they're all in the first team training, which is why they'll probably get into first team squads this season. And that may just give them lads that bit of confidence to go, you know what? This is the way that things are moving forward right now. And when you look at that as well, it makes it clear that when you go into another transfer window, whether it be January or the next summer, Manchester United have a club that are not just buying up anybody who's available to fill a hole. There is a plan now, and that appeals to players in the future as well. That appeals to players that are looking for a new club. Like we talked about Gomez yesterday, this is the exact situation I'm talking about. Because he will then see, look, they've not gone for that. They want a longer term plan. They want a player that's going to be there for the next 5 or 6 years rather than 2 or 3. At least. And that player could be me in that midfield role. That's your Angel Gomez right there. Even if it wasn't Angel Gomez, it could be another younger midfielder that United might be looking at and going, well, they've not bought in because they're waiting for the right man to come through now. And that is appealing to me because that means that I will probably get more game time than previous signings have at Manchester United. And I think that's how you have to look at it. And I think it all impacts the future of the windows coming up and the possible players you can bring in. There's more to every single transfer than just the signing, the wages, and the player where he plays, how old he is, and everything that's involved in it. You have to look at the impact it has later down the line, and I think this one would have that impact, but not in the positive way, if that makes sense. I just wanted to clear my thoughts on Rabiot and what I think might happen. Look, I understand it. I don't want it, but if it happens, you're not going to get me sat here going, this is ridiculous. Manchester United are making a massive, massive mistake. I think Ineos, if they take this deal and Manchester United's new structure in place, it will be on their terms and it will obviously be something that's going to be beneficial to them and not impact anything in the future. They will make the deal happen for them. I'm confident that it won't be anything above 3 years, and that might work for United at this stage. I just think we have to be very careful right now because it could impact future transfer windows down the line and other players coming through and how other players look at Manchester United. And that's what you have to take into consideration. Let's get into the morning chat. See how you guys are doing. Plenty of you in the room. Well over 600. Please get them likes up, guys. We should be well over 200 right now with the amount of people in the room. Like literally miles below half of you have not liked the video yet. Please do give the video a thumbs up. Make sure you have subscribed as well to get involved and get your live comments in. Billy says, he's what we need. You're a joke. Stop beating about the bush. We're a joke. Apparently Billy says he's what we need. Is it? Well, how come no one else is taking him, mate? Come on, read the room. Eriksson, even before his heart operation, wasn't a player who covers a lot of the pitch. Rabiot is more suited to play 6 or 8, and Rabiot will give you at least 3 years. This is what I mean. People are being convinced by it like they need to buy a player in. We don't. We really don't. Look, I get everyone's opinions on it, and I understand why United would bring Rabiot in, but you still got to look at it and go, do we desperately need him? Do we desperately need him? Take the short-term pain. Rabiot is a good player, but we need to think long-term. Rabiot will block the development of younger players. That's from Almac. Brett says, if Rabiot comes, it'll to be done by Tuesday. Otherwise, it ain't happening, and we move on. From Wednesday, don't want to hear his name mentioned again unless he's here. No way, no returns from this, says Rakesh. Louise Kelly says, no thanks to Rabiot. We have not spent the last few months saying it's a new era, no more mercenaries, no more quick fix players, no more high wages. It's against everything we have done so far. Exactly like I was pointing out. Great comment there from Louise. United Spotlight, Rabiot is a decent player, but now we have Agate. We need a different type of centre midfielder. Someone who wants to keep the ball, and we'd have 3 centre midfielders who can pass. Fair points from everyone. If Casemiro has a falling out with Ten Hag, would we need Rabiot then? Definitely. It's a different player. He plays in a different position. No, we wouldn't. We've got Collier and Agate and Kone to play if Casemiro falls out. So no. And let's say we're looking at situations down the line and trying to determine what's actually going to happen before it's even happened here. People are actually saying, like the comments are saying there, what if he has this? What if he does that? What if? You cannot plan like that. You have to, and this all comes down to how Manchester United play, how Ten Hag organises his squad. He has to rotate. He has to get everybody in this squad on board. Fallouts will happen naturally, but you cannot plan a transfer window around just he might have a fallout, so we're going to need Rabiot. It can't work that way. It's not what Manchester United used to be about. It may have been over the last 10 years in stupid, silly signings for stupid reasons, but right now, we need to actually look at what we've done. Like Louise just said in the chat then this summer, stick to the plan, as Erik Ten Hag would say. Stick to the plan. Stick to the plan. It's a process. Stick to the plan. And if you've seen the video, you know exactly what I mean. But we says, listen, it's plain and simple. Get rid of Erik Ten Hag and Mount and Anana. All are trash, and you know it too. It's got nothing to do with Rabiot, but he's just making his point there. Craig says, sick of the new idea, re-signing players under 25 years old. Sick of it. Look, why not? We've already got experienced players in the team. We've got plenty of players that are over the age of 25 already here, so why not bring in the younger players to learn from them ones and actually make them players feel like they've got a future and actually build a proper foundation instead of putting things on top of things and round pegs, square holes constantly all of the time. Look, I'm not like, I understand like some people are a bit thinking like, why do we have to be so strict with only buying players under the age of 25? Look, Mazraoui's 26. Like, these players, I think Ineos want to have at least 5 years in their prime. I do believe it will be players between the ages of 20 and 25 that they will be buying. But there are good players out there at that age that Manchester United can develop even more. And the younger the player, obviously the better chance you've got to mould them into a Manchester United player. When you've got all of these brilliant players, these experienced players who are coming to Manchester United, they're coming to Manchester United because it's Manchester United. They're also coming for the wages, or they used to be. But Manchester United are a team that they just want to play for because they can say that they've played for Manchester United in their career. That's what these big-name players are coming in for. Like, the good players, the great players, the ones that you spend an awful lot of money on, are the younger ones that you know you have got a long time to work with, that you can that you can mould and improve as well. So you're looking at the likes of Lenny Yoro, Highland, Xerxes, these types of players that you can actually train and make better. Like, you've heard Fabio Capello this morning, or last night he was talking about Joshua Xerxes, saying that Chiesa would be a better player for the Premier League. Joshua Xerxes, he's struggling because he's still trying to play Italian football and thinks he's got all the time in the world like he would in Serie A. Look, you're going to get this. You're going to get everyone having their say on Manchester United with the signings. But what it comes down to is what Manchester United can do with these players and how they develop them. If they see the prospect of this player getting better and that's why they bring them in, then that's the plan. That's what they are trying to do. And Manchester United, it comes down to the coaching. It comes down to the support regime and everything behind the manager now. And you've just got to hope that they get it right. Look, everyone is in place there to make this work. Everyone's in place and there's no excuse for it not to work. But it does come down to what the manager can get out of these players as well. Because like we've always said, all of this conversation we're having right now is completely irrelevant if the results on the pitch don't start getting better. And United do need to turn a corner very, very quickly when it comes to what's happening on the pitch. Hopefully, that starts tomorrow. We've got big, big players that are not turning up, and we're all squabbling and arguing, well, not arguing, but debating over what players would suit Manchester United when you've still got the likes of Marcus Rashford walking out on the pitch. Some people would argue Bruno Fernandes falls into that category as well. We have to balance the argument out and say, look, these experienced players are also not cutting the mustard, are they? And you have to look at why and say, look, if they don't want to play for Ten Hag, if Ten Hag can't get the best out of them, a big decision needs making upstairs at Manchester United pretty soon. Otherwise, you're going to have that bad negative vibe running around the team again, and the pressure will start to mount. And in Ineos' first full season, you are going to get, I think, more cutthroat decisions than you've ever seen at Manchester United over the last 10 years. They can't afford for this season to be anywhere near what it was last season. Yes, an FA Cup would be great, but it doesn't get you into the Champions League. I think Ineos will be ready to pull the plug at any point on any situation in the club right now. Whether it be players, whether it be the manager, whether it be staff, anything that doesn't work, they will make it disappear. They need to have a good season. They need this season to be the catalyst for their time in charge of Manchester United. We spoke the other day about more investment coming in from Sir Jim Ratcliffe, more staff coming in to run Manchester United. Everything is being put in place for this to go in the direction that they want it to go, which is challenging at the top. Right now, we're still a million miles away. When people say, look, it's a long season, things will get better, things can obviously change, we haven't got the time. We need to start thinking, look, we've got to win now. We have to get a run going now. Southampton first tomorrow is vital for Manchester United. Absolutely crucial to get the win in the bag and kickstart this next group of games. Ten Hag needs to come out of this next 7 games comfortably in the top 8 of that Europa League Super League, or whatever you want to call it. He has to have at least got, I think, from the 4 Premier League games, 9 points and be in the top half of the table for anyone to even take us seriously. And obviously be through in the Carabao Cup, which I expect us to be. That's the minimum that Ten Hag has to get out of this team. And it's up to them as well. It's not just on Ten Hag. Like, some of these players have just been completely underperforming. And they need to pull the finger out as well. Like, Marcus Rashford needs to get a grip very quickly as well. Let's get some more of your comments in before we finish. Bit of time left yet, so let's get through your comments. If we lose tomorrow, the conversation should be who's going to beat Ten Hag's replacement, not what more he needs to beat Southampton. No, he's got enough to beat Southampton, and this is what we're going to see now. No more excuses. Like Ten Hag said yesterday himself in the press conference, that's not me saying it. Word from the horse's mouth himself. No excuses. So, with everyone available, Manchester United will be fine, won't they? Should be, anyway. Instead of looking at players, just go out and get the best-in-class coach to work with our own talented squad and academy, says MUFC OK. Steve Brown. Man United are credited for creating a pathway for the next generation of player for the first-team squad. The likes of Amas, Collier and Gomez, etc. need to be given the opportunity. Rakesh says we need to focus on strikers and goalkeeper. Of course, who is, for you guys, the most important player tomorrow? Like, who needs to actually stand up and make a mark tomorrow more than anybody? I mean, get your comments in now. Who are you looking out for tomorrow to be that player to actually spearhead Manchester United? Like, convince you that we are a squad, we are a team, and Ten Hag has got everyone on board. Please give the video a like as well, guys. Well over 700 in the room. Thank you for tuning in. Let's get over 200 likes before we finish. That is your target. Go now. Make sure you've subscribed as well. A few of you have already on this stream. Welcome along, all new subscribers or anyone new to the channel. We're just asking everybody who needs to, or what player in Manchester United needs to be the one tomorrow for you. Who are you looking out for to say, I'm watching you, you need to perform. It's about time you did something. Tell me, get in the chat, everybody. Let's see, Bruno Fernandes. Yep, I think there's going to be a few people on that. We need Rashford to be that guy, says Mark. Rashford, just get out, says Graham. Can't pick one. I don't think we have that one player, says Kaz. Surely there's someone that can inspire the rest of the team. Casemiro and Rashford need to turn up. That means that Stewie's saying that Casemiro is going to play. Do you guys think now, after what Ten Hag said yesterday, that he's going to play Manuel Ugarte as well? Rashford, Bruno, De Ligt needs to play, says Winston. It was always going to be Rashford and Bruno because they are the long stayers of this football club, aren't they? Everybody's always going to look to them and go, you need to buck up your ideas. Louis says, don't care who, but someone needs to score some bloody goals or we won't win a match this season. Very true. Stating the obvious, but very true. Gray's Ungref, just wanting cake, as usual. Not sure what he's on there. You've been up too long, Gray, I think, mate. Doesn't Garte have the flu? I've not heard of that one, Al. I think he's in training, so I wouldn't think that was an issue. I think he'll play Casemiro alongside Ugarte, with Casemiro playing higher up the pitch. That's my guess. That means no Kobbie Mainoo then. I can't see that happening, especially with Mainoo having the full week off. So, no, I don't see it. I think Kobbie Mainoo is a player that Ten Hag will build a team around and definitely will be playing tomorrow. Let's just check what else we've got in there. Ugarte won't start. Ten Hag will say he's travelled a lot and arrived a day after everyone else. He's already said that anyway, Cuban, that he has started later than everyone else. Our weakness is in midfield. Kobbie is slow. He can't defend. Casemiro is old. He can't defend. Bruno is in a hurry to lose the ball. Hopefully, that one player will be Ugarte. You look confident there, Chase, then. I'm filled with confidence now after reading that one. Daily Foot says, where is that Arsenal Academy striker anyways? Again, like, we fully expected that ratification to come through. Look, in terms of that, I've said it myself, and I'm surprised that it hasn't happened this week. Because all of the noise is coming out regarding Obi Martin, where that the ratification from the Premier League would have come this week, but It's not, and hopefully it will happen soon so we can get him training. Look, in terms of the deal itself, there's no drama. He's played in the internationals this week, scoring goals this week for the under-18s and Denmark level, international level, sorry, and it will happen for Obi Martin. He will be a Manchester United player, so there's no need to worry, but the ratification is dragging its heels a little bit right now. Andrew Douglas says, all the team needs to stand up and be together. Not doing that is why we have had a poor start. Eric Ten Hag to Agate. You bring the fight, eh? I like it, Dill. Picking up on that video that Ten Hag had with Agate coming in. He will bring the fight. It would just be good to see a bit of steel in Manchester United's midfield. And let's see if they do listen to what Ten Hag says, like in bringing that intensity from the get-go, high up the pitch. That's what Manchester United need. And I'm hoping we're going to bring it against Southampton. Look, in all of this, and we'll talk more about it later on this evening as well, when we're looking fully ahead to the game. No one has talked about Southampton and how they're seeing this game. It's all about Manchester United. And of course, obviously being a United channel, we are going to look at the United side of things more. I think everybody else from the outside will as well. There's no expectation on Southampton. But when everyone says that Manchester United have haven't lost in 15 games against Southampton, I can remember 4 draws in the last 5, I think, off the top of my head in that. And draws are not going to do us any good against Southampton tomorrow either. They're just going to prolong the pain of having to deal with being in the bottom half of the table already into the middle of September. Not good. We need a win. Simple as. Anything but a win tomorrow will be, again, like going another game along, the worst start that Ten Hag has made. That can't happen. That cannot happen tomorrow. We need to get the win against Southampton. It is vital that we do get the win. Any more comments in there? Love Leisha says, true is Kobe is slow and likes to show opponents these he knows how to play. That he knows how to play, and this will cost us some games. I mean, I don't think we need to be worrying about Kobe too much, to be honest. People dissecting Kobe Mainoo's game right now, he's the least of our worries. He's a player who's quick over 5 or 10 yards, by the way. It's just that tracking back and not being as quick in a sprint or a long sprint. I know what everybody's saying, but he brings more quality than he does concern for me. And I think we do need to actually just get behind that player. I think if we build a team around the likes of Kobe Mainoo, then we won't be far wrong. We won't be far short of having a challenging side. I think he is that good. I do think he is that good. And Manchester United just need to just commit to a plan, commit to that process that Ineos are looking at, and build a team of the younger players in the way that they want to play football in terms of like the style of play. They've said it all this week, like the identity of Manchester United is what's more important to them. So it's up to them to bring in the players that they think will do that. Will there be players coming from the academy? Well, they're the players that are playing that way already, so maybe that adaptation in is where they're trying to go. Look, we've invested quite a lot this summer in players for the first team, and I think they're players to fit in right now and then bring younger players in and around. That's how I see it so far. Obviously, future transfer windows will tell us exactly where we're going. I think this summer was a mental one because of everything going on. I just think that the next windows are going to be a little bit more conservative, and maybe 2 or 3 players coming in, things like that. I think that's how it's going to be. How about the whole team taking collective responsibility for the game? I think they do. I think everyone's putting the effort in, Graham, but again, like, it just looks sometimes like they look a bit lost in terms of the plan and the idea of what they're actually doing. It's a case of United needing, like you said, to come together as a team, know exactly what they're doing as a team, and listening to Ten Hag. That way, there's no excuse. That way, there's no way out of it, and we can actually see what Ten Hag's plan is. Do we feel like everybody's fully invested in Ten Hag, in that Man United squad right now? I think they are. I'm seeing the effort on the pitch. I think they are putting the miles in. It's just that we're lacking ideas. And I think we're concentrating so much on being harder to beat this season that we're creating nothing going forward. So, yeah, it's going to be interesting to see. And it is all about everyone together. But we are going to need certain players to actually step up individually. I'm not going to let people off. Like, they need to do better than what they're doing individually. And it's like you say, every time you go out and win your battle. You know the whole plan for the team. Go out and win your battles and make sure you do your job. And there are plenty of players in that team that are just not doing that. Over 200 likes in the bag. Thank you, everybody. We are going to wrap up the show there. That is your morning update. Thank you for all your comments in the live section. Please get some comments in below as well. Talk to me about Rabiot. Should we bring him in on a short-term deal, or should we not, because of him blocking the pathway for younger players that could come in the next couple of years and help this Manchester United side? Get your comments in below. Thank you, new members, donators, and everybody else in the chat. Mods, great job as always. I'll see you all later on. I'll keep you posted if anything comes about midday. Stay tuned for anything coming out content-wise. Otherwise, we'll be back at 6:30 this evening, everybody, with the full interactive evening show, looking ahead to that game in detail tomorrow. Thanks, everyone. See you all later on.